Hello, everyone. It's time for Vanishing Land Stories, the podcast. I'm your host, Pete Costanis. This is episode 423, season 17. Today's date is April 6, 2025, and welcome to the show. On today's program, I'm going to talk about, I'm going to read off a menu from the Millionaire's Club restaurant. I already did this on episode 384. Back in November, but I had a few requests from people that used to live in my own neighborhood, and they asked me, "Can you read it again?" So, as a special favor, because they're huge followers of my page, I will do that. I don't like to repeat posts that much, but this is a special case. So, I will read off I'll read off the menu again from the Millionaire's Club. Also, I'll talk about my memories of the camera, the Polaroid SX-70. If you're familiar with that, that's the one that you unfold it and then you take a one-shot picture and then a picture spits out of the camera. So I'm going to talk about my memories of that wonderful contraption. Okay, so but right now the program will go into a commercial break. And this program is brought to you by Nestle's Alpine White Candy Bar. And this is from the 1980s, and the commercial is from 1986. I still love this candy bar. It was good. So just sit back and relax, and I'll be right back with the show, folks. Thank you.
Sweet dreams you can't resist. A dream as sweet as this. Creamy white, dreamy white. Nestle makes the very best. Nestles. Sweet dreams you can't resist.
Okay, everyone, I am back. I hope you enjoyed the commercial for Nestle's Alpine White Candy Bar. I remember this commercial very well, like in the late 80s. They used to air this in prime time. Let me give you a little history of this. It was, I'll tell you what the candy bar was. It was white chocolate with almonds, and I love white chocolate. It's so good. White chocolate became very popular. Their popularity grew of So it became very popular. It was introduced because people, maybe they're tired of milk chocolate, dark chocolate. They want white chocolate. White chocolate's delicious like that. So Nestle introduced this in 1986, and the commercial you just heard, they re-aired it until 1989. Then they made a new one, and they also did a second commercial for just chocolate with almonds, not just white chocolate, milk chocolate, and also like that. I've had this candy bar. It was delicious. I loved it. When I was a kid, I didn't particularly care for almonds, but now I do. I love them. And, like the Mars bar. Remember that? So, it's a funny thing. They made another commercial almost similar to that, like around 1990. But in the 1990 version, they hired a singer. You might, her name was Sophie B. Hawkins. She had her famous song was "Damn, I Wish You Were My Lover." Do you remember that song? She had another hit. I don't know what happened to her. She just disappeared. And but the product didn't catch on, and they discontinued it. And people are still clamoring for the candy bar to return. But but it hasn't. So that's a shame. This is similar to Nestle's Cookies and Cream, which I think it's still being made, and that's good. I like that, but it's not the same. Yeah. So I love talking about candy bars. It's my favorite. I can't eat them now for the moment because of my chemo. because my glucose goes up. But now it's going down, so we'll see what happens. So I got to wait about a few months and see if it's all right. You got to avoid sugar, and I'm doing my best. Okay. Excuse me. At the beginning of the program, I mentioned I'm going to read off a menu from the Millionaire's Club restaurant in Chicago. Also about my memories of the Polaroid SX-70 Camera that was in the 1970s. I'm going to repeat what I said about the Millionaires Club. I will read off the menu. Excuse me, because a couple people requested it, and I told them, well, I already did that last November, but they wanted me to do it again. So they were friends of mine that grew up in the old neighborhood, and I said, okay, I will do that. I hope they're happy. So just forgive me for repeating this again. So, but I'll go in more detail of the menu. Right now, I'm going to talk about something special that's, for today. Today is the 5th anniversary of my surgery when they removed my prostate. I remember that day. It was April 6, 2020. That was a crazy day. I woke up like 4 o'clock in the morning to go, so my mother and my brother drove me to the hospital. And the reason it was crazy is because COVID was intensifying. It was nuts and it was scary. So when I arrived there in the hospital, it's like people were walking on eggshells because of what's going on. And so I got admitted. My brother waited in the car. He was not allowed to go in the hospital, only my mom. So we went up and then, we fill out paperwork and get admitted. And then I got prepped up and then, they put anesthesia and then they wheeled me away to surgery. And I woke up, the surgeon, which is my urologist, he operated on this and he said it went very well. We removed it. There were little microscopic cells left over on the prostate bed. So that would be done with radiation later on. And I was all alone. My mom did not come up to see me. They would not allow her. And she had my wallet, my phone, and my glasses. So I couldn't see. I couldn't talk to anybody. I felt like I was dumped in the hospital. Only the nurses came by. No visitors at all. And but it went well, and it was kind of lonely. I didn't talk to anybody. But finally, I asked the nurse, "Would you please call my house and ask them to bring over my glasses, my wallet, and my iPhone?" So I waited a while, and that was the next day. And my mom did. She brought them over, and then they brought it to me in the hospital room. And thank God I'd be able to see. I contacted people. I was recovering for about 2 or 3 days, and then I went home. We had to wear a catheter for the first time, and then and I was recovering, and that was rough. It was really rough, and then I had radiation later on. Right now, I'm going through chemotherapy because it spread a little bit in the back. But I've done 5 chemo sessions. I got 5 more to go. The next one is Thursday, April 10th. I hope it works. But my oncologist says it'll take time. It'll take time for it to really affect, like that. So I'm glad we're going to do 10 like that. But that day, I'll never forget it. The other day is that when I was diagnosed, that was on December 10th. That was terrible. The bottom line is my urologist, who performed the surgery, saved my life. He saved my life. If I didn't do the surgery, or it would, it would have kept it off, I wouldn't be here talking. I'd be dead. So I thank him for that. I appreciate him. I still see him. So, when I do checkups, and he's a very nice man, very dedicated to his work, and I appreciate him very much. All right. So that's that. Right now, I'm going to read off a menu from the Millionaires Club. Now, this restaurant was located in a few locations in the Chicagoland area. There was one on Wabash Avenue, downtown. I never went to that one. There was another one up in Niles, I believe. I'm not sure. And there was another one in Melrose Park. But the one that I went to once was located at Fort City Shopping Center near my old house. And when I moved there in 1974, a lot of people were talking about this place, and I never heard of it. And they tell me, Pete, you should go. Take your family there. I didn't go with my family. I went with a couple friends. We went there, and it was great. It was the food was somewhat reasonable. It depends on the person. Then they had kitty cocktails, and it was great. The food was good. It really was that I remember. So I only went one time, and I don't know when it closed. Probably late 70s sometime. Don't remember exactly. It was right next to Weeble's department store. It was right there. Yeah, I believe so. And, there was John's Garage. So people ask me to read a menu off of that. I have it, but I'll do that another time. I'll figure out something. Okay. So right now I'm going to read off the menu. Okay, so I'm going to bring it up. And this will be fun. I just want to let you know, sometimes the menus are different from other places. Not the items, but maybe there were some items that weren't there. Some were. So here's a menu. I don't know when this was printed. Probably in the 70s, sometime mid-70s. So they had luncheon from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. and dinner from 5 p.m. to midnight. Okay. So they had salads. So they had garden fresh chef salad with choice of your gourmet dressings, or if you want coleslaw with sour cream dressing, that sounds good. The entrees they had, let's see, they had prime rib. So it's prime rib with beef. Back then it cost $3.95, so that's not bad. Now, if you buy one today, there's no way like that. Then they had New York cut boneless sirloin steak. Prime steer filet mignon. I love filet mignon. Roast sirloin beef au jus. Pan-fried filet of sole served with tartar sauce. Chopped sirloin steak, open-faced sandwich. That sounds good. Barbecue sirloin of beef on toasted roll. Broiled African lobster tail with drawn butter. Prime filet mignon en brochet. And baked shrimp Dijon. I can't pronounce it. And casserole. Okay. The potatoes they served were baked, or you want golden brown steakhouse potatoes. I love steak potatoes. Steakhouse, steak fries like that. Those are good. Beverages, they had coffee, milk, tea, Sanka, or draft beer. I don't know what kind of beer they had. Probably if you want a cocktail, that's fine too. For desserts, they had French ice cream, chocolate sundae, or a special sour cream cheesecake. I never had sour cream cheesecake. That sounds good. Yeah. So the entrees for dinner, I'm just going to read that's not on the lunch menu. So here we go. They had Jim Brady cut, double thick. I don't know what that is. So the salads are the same. The garden fresh chef salad. Okay. They had boneless breasted chicken a la Kiev, so it's chicken Kiev. I love chicken Kiev. That's good. Let's see what else. Diamond Jim cut, so it's probably steaks. They had Millionaire's extra thick prime steer filet mignon, so it's probably bigger like that. Okay. Let's see. That's the same. Lobster tails, they had that. Oh, they had broiled center cut pork chops, full pound. Broiled Lake Superior whitefish served with love and butter. Okay. And they had a combination of surf and turf, steak and seafood. Broiled African lobster tail and filet mignon and brochet. And of course, they had broiled chopped sirloin steak. The ciders are the same, baked or steak fries, baked potato. Same desserts and same beverages. Okay, so that's good. And like I say, I don't know when this restaurant closed. I have no idea. But I'm glad I went once. I would kick myself for not going there. There were a few restaurants in the Chicagoland area. I never had the opportunity to go. One was Magic Pan. I never went there, but it was very popular. So I missed that opportunity. Okay. Right now, I'm going to talk about the Polaroid SX-70 camera. Before I do, I'm going to play a commercial of this wonderful invention. So here's a commercial for the Polaroid SX-70 Alpha 1 camera. This came out in 1977. Okay, so sit back and relax, and then when I come back, I will discuss my memories of the Polaroid SX-70 camera. Thank you.
How much should you expect from a great camera? Polaroid's SX-70 lets you shoot automatically, very close, or very far away, in lots of light, or hardly any. Shoot every second and a half, and have beautiful pictures in minutes. No other camera in the world does it all. The SX-70 Alpha 1.
Okay, everyone, I am back. I hope you enjoyed the commercial for the Polaroid SX-70 camera. This was released in 1977. Oh, what a wonderful contraption this was. I remember it distinctly. A lot of people had it at the time. I was at Korea school, and I remember seeing people take pictures of that. And I remember one kid in my class probably had one and took pictures of that. So so I'll talk about the history of this. It was introduced in 1972, and it was a single lens. They had instant film. When I remember seeing the commercials for the first time on television, I was mesmerized by this thing. It's a camera, and it was sometimes I think there was a camera before. I'm not sure what it's called, but I didn't get a chance to do research. It's like you took a picture and you sort of spin it, crank it up, and then a picture would come out or something like that. So this particular camera, so you would just focus, looking through the lens like that, and it was very easy to use. And then you press the red button and go like that, and the picture would come out, and you would wait about a few minutes, for it to develop right in front of your eyes. So. And that was cool. So I remember one time this kid did have one, and we took a picture, so we all waited. So I actually saw it developed, and that was kind of cool, like that. And then, so before it would develop, you had to peel it off, or like that. I think so. I'm not sure, or it would just come out. I don't remember exactly. Anyway. So it became very popular. So there were a variety of models of that. Later on, in 1978, there was an SX-70 camera. It was called the Sonar One Step, and that was very much easier, according to them. So it also had a built-in flash. I think the SX-70, I don't know if it had a flash. Don't remember. I think it did. Yeah. And I remember the commercials, and there was James Garner, the actor, best known for Maverick and Rocker Files, and there was Mariette Hartley. And she was an actress, and a lot of people believe they were married to each other because they had this natural chemistry between them, but they weren't. They weren't married. They had their own spouses, but they were so believable, and those were very popular at the end of the run. So they stopped about 1980. Now, the Polaroid SX-70, they stopped production in 1981. Okay. Now, I want to see the film. Let's double check that real quickly, and I will tell you. Yeah, I'll do a quick look. Yeah. So it's the film, you had to buy them, like, when you go to Osco or Walgreens, they had film there, not like today. And you would buy some, and then because I don't know how many there were in there that would hold in the camera. Yeah, that. So anyway, so they stopped production in 1981, and the film lasted longer because some people still had them throughout the 80s. And they still work great like that. Yeah, that's like that. Here we go. So the film pack was 10. They had 10 in there. And the film speed was 150. That's what, according to what it says, And then in 1980, they replaced it. It was called SX-0 Supercolor. Like that. So that lasted for a long time. And then the SX-70, the Time Zero film, was phased out of production in late 2005. That late. That's amazing because people still had cameras. Now, if you have a camera, if you have the Polaroid SX-70, presently, it wouldn't work unless someone had some stashed in their houses, or you could check eBay. Maybe they sell them. It's possible. I don't know how old they are. Maybe they deteriorated and, they wouldn't work very well. I know there's a lot of people in Chicago would remember, they do know this place. It's called Central Camera that's located on Wabash in the Loop. And they sell cameras and film, which is kind of cool. I don't know if they sell that type of film. Maybe they do. I don't know. I've only been to that place once years ago. I was, going around downtown. I had an appointment and I had some time to kill, and I went into the store and I was fascinated about the cameras, which was pretty cool. One day, if I go downtown, I will stop by there again because it's still in business. They had a little damage during the riots in 2020, but they survived. That's awesome. I'm glad about that. So who knows if some people have this particular type of camera in their possession? Maybe. Will it work today? Probably not. But it's a great keepsake. Regrettably, I never owned one. I wish I did. But my mom still has the Kodak Instamatic camera up in the linen closet. That was funny. Like that. Okay. So that's it for this show. I'll do a recap of what I talked about. I read off a menu from the Millionaire's Club restaurant. I did it previously. I'm glad I did that. I hope my friends would like that. And I talk about my memories of the Polaroid SX-70 camera from the 1970s. Okay. This podcast will be published later on today, wherever podcasts are found. If you have these apps on your phone or your tablet, if you have Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, Breaker, Overcast, Good Pods, or what's the other one? Podbean. There's a lot of them. If you tap on those apps and tap follow, You'll receive a notification of the latest episode. You can listen to previous episodes if you like. Also, be sure to have my blog, www.vanishingchicagoland.blog. They're all listed there. You can click on it. It'll take you to Spotify. Do that. You can also if you have Spotify on your television, if you stream, it is there. You could listen to your TV. If you have CarPlay in your car, you can listen that. I can install CarPlay in mine. I haven't done that yet. Also be uploaded on my YouTube channel, Vanishing Chicagoland Stories. And again, people ask me, where do I find your podcast? Where do I find your podcast? You can find it on YouTube. Do a search, Vanishing Chicagoland Stories, or my name, Pete Costanis. You will find them. They're all there. Click subscribe. It doesn't cost anything. You can listen to the latest episode. Also listen to previous episodes if you like. You can bookmark it. And also you receive a notification of the latest episode. Also be sure to my social media accounts, Facebook, X, Reddit, LinkedIn. Also Threads, TikTok, Blue Sky, and Instagram. I will have the link. Just copy the link. It'll take you right there. Okay. So that's it for this show. Today is not a bad day. It's in the 40s. So we'll see about that. I'll probably do another podcast episode Tuesday. I think so. And so this is Pete Costanis, your host for Vanishing Chicagoland Stories, the podcast. Thank you for joining me. Everyone be safe. Here's bye-bye for me, and here is bye-bye from one of our favorite people in the whole wide world, the Chicago legend Ray Rayner, with a little traveling music saying bye, bye, bye. Take care, everyone, and so long.
We have to go. Bye, bye, bye.